Also, it's time now to do some politics. The National Democratic Congress is set in motion its reorganization process. Now, the party says it will from next week give the opportunity to floating voters to officially register as members of the party. The process, later to begin next week, will pave way for a number of intervention and internal activities which will culminate in the elections of the flag bearer to contest the 2024 presidential elections. Well, in a Twitter post, the NDC argues that, quote, "We are a people-centered, development-oriented political party. Join us now." So, well, why is the NDC asking for more members to join them? Joining us on phone is George Opariado. He is the National Youth Organizer for the NDC. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. So here we are. It appears that you've started your reorganization process. So why are you asking more and more members, first of all, to join the NDC?
That for every political party, it thrives on membership. So once in a while, the NDC opens up its registration process so that new members who wish to join the NDC join. There are a lot of young people who have turned 18, so you're not allowed to join any political party. The last time the NDC opened up its register was in 2018. So in 2022, if we open up the register, then we must encourage many more people to join, especially first-time voters. And like I said, every political party thrives on membership. So yes, we are asking new members to join. There are other people who were members of the NPP, who were members of the PNC, APC, who are disgruntled and are not happy with happenings within their political party and are looking for new opportunities in joining new political parties. And the NDC has availed itself. So we're asking new members to join. We're asking people who are not too political, who wants to get involved politically to join. And we're also asking everybody who wants to see a better Ghana, everybody who wants to see Ghana state, everybody who wants Ghana to work again, to join shoulders to the whole and join the NDC so we can help change this inept, this corrupt, and this dishonest NPP administration led by Mahmoud Bawumia and Ekufuado.
Well, but I guess the question to the NDC is the party still attractive, particularly to the youth? You, for instance, as the National Youth Organizer for the NDC, how attractive is your party as we speak?
In 2016, the NDC went to the polls as a party in government. We only managed 44% of the total. We managed 44% of that. We only got 44% out of that election. We got 106 seats in Parliament. In 4 years, between 2017 to 2020, we managed to turn over our fortunes by grabbing 137 seats in Parliament. If not for some machination, we would have gotten close to about 140 seats in the Parliament of Ghana. Clearly, this tells you how attractive the NDC has and how we've been able to rebrand and reposition the party. Secondly, we got 44% in the last election. We're still content that we didn't lose the 2020 election because per our calculations and per our compilation, nobody got a 50+1. So we contested at the highest level. And I can confidently tell you that today, go to all tertiary institutions across the country. See, the wing that is in charge of student activism for the NDC is the most attractive, most influential, and most popular student groupings on campuses. Apart from that, the number of young people that joined in the movement in the last election to support and volunteer to join the NDC clearly positions us as the party for the future and the party for young people. So yes, to your question, the NDC is very, very attractive. And the number of people, we launched the National Same app last month, in March. Today, we have over 40,000 members who have registered on the app alone. That tells you the number of tertiary students who find the NDC attractive and wants to be a part of the NDC.
And I guess you do agree that what will be critical in the 2024 elections will be about the teeming mass of youth. The demographics obviously tells us that clearly you would have to mobilize the youth base to support the NDC if indeed you are interested in winning political power come 2024. What strategies are you putting in place as the youth wing of the party to achieve that?
We are not oblivious of the fact that the data clearly spells out that we have a more youthful population. And as a political party that is youth-oriented, we are looking at making sure that we recruit a lot of more young people. And for our strategies, I'm not sure I'm going to discuss strategies on radio, but what I can assure you is that We have laid down cogent measures, good strategies that are going to attract any more young people to the NDC. I'm sure for the first time, the NDC have not gone on the registration drive that has widely publicized, like what you are hearing. And clearly, this is one of the initiatives we've put out. Like I mentioned, the chain drive, what we've done to reposition things in our various campuses. And you can check as a journalist, you can get your media men in the various regions to tell you and update you on activism on our various campuses. So a lot is happening, but also day-to-day strategy or whatever we are doing in terms of strategy, I'm not sure it is for me to discuss it on radio or TV. But what I can assure listeners and viewers is that the NDC is positioned properly to rescue this country and save Ghana from the claws of this inept and dishonest administration that we have and we call a government.
Anyway, I guess it's up to the people to also decide to join the NDC. But if there's any one reason why someone should opt for the NDC today, what would you say that reason should be?
The NDC is a political party that stands for Ghana. The NDC doesn't care where you come from. It doesn't care which religion you belong to. It doesn't care what tribe you come from. The NDC makes opportunities available for all Ghanaians. The NDC is the only political party that built Ghana as it stands today. Look at the local economy. Find out how much control Ghanaians have in the local economy. We've ceded almost everything we have to foreigners. The NDC believes in Ghana and supports Ghanaians' growth. If you're a young person looking for opportunity, a government that will not discriminate, a government that can help you realize your dreams, then that political party is the biggest political movement called the National Democratic Congress.
Anyway, we'll have to leave it here. I'm grateful that you've been able to move out of your meeting and talk to us. That's the National Youth Organizer for the NDC, George Opare Addo. Meanwhile, when the Standard Time moves and underway to form a broad consultation or a coalition that will actually challenge the NDC and the NPP in the 2024 elections. That's according to the Economic Fighters League, a radical Nkrumahist group, as they call themselves, which is actually focused on economic independence. Joining us now via Zoom is Hadi Yakubu, Fighter General of the EFL. Thank you for joining us. So here we are. You are seeking to break the duopoly. The NDC says, well, we're also reorganizing, massing up our people so we can be a better alternative in the 2024 elections. Why do you say that Ghanaians are fed up and would have to opt necessarily for your new movement?
Thank you very much, Bless, and God bless you, Bless. I think George spoke for his party, and I think I was expecting that you correct some of the things that he said when he said that the NDC is a party that cares about the ownership of the economy in local hands. In fact, what we have right now currently is the doing of 30 years of mismanagement by both NPP and NDC. And if you look at even the track record of Rawlinson's structural adjustment programs, which actually on a very large scale continued the divestiture and wanton dissipation of Nkrumah's state-owned enterprises that was started by the National Liberation. I mean, this dissipation was started by the National Liberation Council and then continued on a very massive scale by Rawlins for the military regime that was even continued when he transitioned into multi-party electoral, rule. And then Kufuor came and continued the sale. You remember the famous sale of Ghana Telecom together with all its accessory institutions, including the Ghana Technical University College, and all everything that we've seen under Kufuor. Then came Mills and Mahama, and it all continued. None of them. The thing is, when they are in a position, and today we've seen what Akufo-Addo is doing. Akufo-Addo, what we've seen is that when they are in opposition, whether it is NPP or NDC, they are very good in diagnosing the problems of the country and proffering solutions and positioning themselves as the messiahs and the best thing that could ever happen to this country. But when they get into power, everything changes. It's almost as if they are no longer the smart people that they were during
Yeah,
opposition. We all know
right.
what Akufo-Addo and the NPP said when they were in opposition. Now, we've all seen the hardship, we've all seen the economic mismanagement, the wanton stealing that is continuing under the NPP regime. So if you look at these two political parties, everybody is now very clear in their minds that what we are dealing with is a serious class issue where the big people in the NPP and the big people in the NDC are in the same class, and they are protecting their class interests. The NPP is the paid government and NDC is the paid opposition. The paid government, the paid opposition is responsible for making sure that the paid government does not bring hardship to the people. That
but Hadi, I guess it's not entirely.
But what do we see?
Yeah, but Hadi, you agree that it's not entirely a bad story all throughout the democratic journey of the Fourth Republic. At some point, even in 2011, for instance, under the NDC administration, we recorded one of the highest levels of economic growth when we became.
Let me stop you there, Bless. Let me stop you there.
In the world, you agree? The NPP has, of course, done a few other things that you will agree with as good policies. So, is it entirely the case that they've done nothing to help this country? Is that your argument?
Stop you there, but out of courtesy, I allowed you. You see, the 2011 growth, and one of the things that the upper class uses to bamboozle the people is the GDP growth, economic growth. That means absolutely nothing to the people. And why do I say that? The 2011 growth of 14%, actually, the so-called highest growth in the world, what accounted for it? What accounted for it was because oil was coming on stream for the very first time. That is what accounted for it. Now ask yourself, where was the oil going? 83% of that oil belongs even till date to foreign multinational companies, whereas Ghana is only getting peanuts. And if you go to the gold sector, if you go to manganese, bauxite, all the minerals that we own in this country, the environmental degradation and deterioration in the communities that harbor these minerals is something that cannot be spoken about. And then all the money that is taken out of these is sent away by the connivance of these NPP and NDC compradors who get their cuts and make sure that this economy remains the way it is. So if you say that it's not all doom and gloom, I would agree with you to the extent that it's not been bad for them. It's not been bad for them, but it's been very, very, very bad for the people in the lower classes.
Oh, I get the point you're making. Yeah, I get the point you're making. But when the opportunity, and I'm sorry, Hadi, for coming through, when the opportunity presents itself for Ghanaians to vote, they do otherwise. You're complaining that, well, the middle class, those at the lower level are not feeling it. But when they go to the polls, they don't even vote for a third political party aside the NDC and the NPP. Look at the last elections. The third political party did not even cross 10% of the votes. So what magical steps are you going to put in place just to change that narrative within the next 2 or 3 years that you have?
I have an opinion. We think that you see the people, those smaller parties that you've talked about, we all know, in all honesty, that how many of them really contest the elections to win? They contest the elections to become appendages of either NPP or NDC. And this is a fact that many people do not want to say, because it sort of gives a cover, a blanket to cover the sham of multi-party democracy. But clearly, they do not enter these elections to do anything. What we are coming to do is not to come and repeat what these so-called smaller political parties have been doing. What we are building is a broad coalition of individuals of various political persuasions and social backgrounds, economic and religious backgrounds, who are absolutely fed up with the NPP and NDC duopoly and what they've done with this country, and want an alternative. We are not going to, the approach that we are adopting is not to go straight to presidency, because that, again, doesn't speak well of political strategy.
Right.
We want to target specific parliamentary seats and fight with all tooth and nail to make sure that we secure these seats for independent candidates who are of integrity, who are smart and compassionate, and who have Ghana at heart. And once we secure those, we are going to make sure that from within, with the power vested in them, we are able to push forward the changing of the system through the changing of the...
Right. I'm sure that you've tested the grounds already. Right. And I'm sure that you've spoken to some Ghanaians on these ideas that you're telling us about. Are Ghanaians really accepting your message?
Absolutely, absolutely. What we are doing now is in two folds. We are continuing a massive grassroots mobilization into the Economic Fighters League, but at the same time, we are talking to so many groups, and you would be amazed at how many, especially young people in various groupings, who you might not even consider to be political in any way, who are very, very upbeat about joining any form of coalition that will throw away the NPP and NDC duopoly. And we have spoken to several, dozens of them, day in and day out. We go into meetings, either virtually or physically, across the country, trying to build this as a grand coalition. And it doesn't matter. There are some members, there are some people who are even members of NPP or members of NDC. They say that, well, their members of parliament have not done anything, and they are not very happy with what they've got as their lot under NDC and NPP, and therefore they would like to change course. So even though they remain members of NDC or NPP, they want to see something different, and they are joining the coalition.
Okay, give us a sense of the target. Give us a sense of the target that you have. So by 2024, say, how many members of parliament are we likely to see, or candidates are we likely to see contesting? How many persons are you fielding going into the 2024 elections?
I don't want to put the cart before the horse, or is it the other way around? They say it. It's a coalition, and therefore it is not just our expectations that will shape the political strategy that goes into the elections. So these are, if you have a broad coalition of people from different backgrounds and political leanings, you would have discussions about approaches and things like that. So long as the goal remains the same, approaches to reaching the goal can be discussed internally. Right. And then we will unveil everything for everybody to
Hadi Yakubu, we need to go. But for instance, if someone walks to you right now and tells you that you're wasting your time, go back home and sleep on this political dream, what should we say?
We are not wasting our time. And I think that the results in 2024 will come and show. Because the kind of work that we are doing, we are very silent about it, and we are adopting a submarine approach. And the kind of work that we are doing underground is something that will speak for itself when we finally unveil it. And we are basing everything on sound political ideology and strategy, and also serious research and data that is going on. I know journalists, you want me to reveal a lot, but I'm not under any authorization to reveal that much. But as soon as things are cleared and we have the go-ahead, everything will be made known in series of press conferences and press releases.
All right, then, let's see.
We're working towards it.
Right. Hadi Yakubu, I'm grateful. He's with the Economic Fighters League, joining us here on The Pulse. We'll return shortly after this break. We have some more stories coming your way. Please stay.